Good evening, Facebook. I was trying to go on my business page and for some reason it won't work. Welcome to Deep Conversations and Transformations. And tonight I have the honour of interviewing my friend Cherub. Cherub is a pioneering sound artist. She's a master of high frequency, and her purpose and passion in life is to share the healing and transformational powers of sound with the world. And my intention behind these interviews is really just for everyone to positively transform. So that's you, the listener, my guest, and myself. Here's Cherub now. Let's hope this works. Approve. Please.
Oh my God!
Yes,
Hi!
it worked. Hi.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I've never been so happy to see your face.
Oh, welcome. It's always a pleasure to see your face, that's for sure.
Well, I wasn't prepared because of that technology meltdown. So let me just get myself in my little tripod here.
Yeah, you get yourself prepared. I was inviting you on and I was telling everyone about you, but I'm going to get you to explain everything you do in your own words.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Because I don't know if I fluffed it a bit. This is the fourth time.
Okay, bear with me. No, I've heard every single introduction whilst I was trying to get on, and you were spot on. You did a great job. Okay, I'm settled. Hi, everyone.
Are you settled?
Yeah.
Hi, Cherub. How are you?
Amazing. Thank you for inviting me on it. I've been watching your journey as you've been watching mine for the past few years. So it's really nice that our paths have ran parallel now and we can inspire each other.
Yeah, because we met in 2005, you reminded me, which was Party Girl Central. We were on lots of amazing adventures together. Yeah.
Some of the best times of our lives, wasn't it?
Some of the best times. And I just love watching what you're up to now. And I got to experience, the sound healing with you 2 years ago. And it was just blew me away.
Wow. Yeah, that was a special moment for us. And that was when I was doing it in my flat in Camden. And since then I've evolved and I've got my own little princess turret in Pirate Castle, Camden.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm lucky to be waking up and doing what I love every day. What a joy.
Yeah. And how did you get to this point? That's the first question that came through, actually. How did you find your purpose?
I guess for me, I found it by not looking for it. After I graduated from Newcastle Uni, which is where I met you in Newcastle, in a crazy club, I went traveling for about 6 years and spent the first 2 years living between Ibiza and Miami. And then for the next 4 years, traveled all different parts of the world. And my main prerogative in life then was just fun, festivals, fancy dress. So there was no seeking a purpose or a passion. My only passion, I guess, at that time was just living purely in the moment and being happy and content with having no purpose at all. And I truly think that because I had that sort of carefree attitude to life and wasn't seeking anything, that's what then led me towards finding a path of pure passion and purpose of sound. So when I was traveling, I spent a lot of time in different tribes, different cultures, from India to Jamaica and all over different parts of the world, South America, where music and singing and chanting and drumming is all just natural day-to-day part of existence. So much so that without it, I don't know how people survive. So I spent years completely immersed in these tribes where we would like drum up the sunrise and sing to the sunset, and it was just like a huge part of the fabric that weaved communities together. So when I came to the UK in 2012, after I'd been traveling, I missed it. I missed sound, drumming, singing. Hello, Selba.
Oh, welcome in.
I missed it, so decided I wanted to learn about sound for me, never as a career path or to build any kind of empire, just to find a bit of peace and solace in a crazy, hectic city of London. So I decided originally to seek out the greatest sound healer that walks this earth, Tim Wheater. He is one of the forefathers that actually introduced sound healing to the UK, decades ago. So I found him and asked him to train me, and I did his course, learned with him. And then the rest is history. We've been together now, playing together for about 7 years. And so what's gone from me just having an interest in sound as a tool to get peace for myself has become this full-blown obsession in wanting to share the transformational powers of sound with the world, because it really can, beyond it being entertainment, it is a functional art of healing and transformation.
I can feel the vibration coming off you. I've got goosebumps every time you tell me something. And I mean, for anyone out there that's not experienced sound healing, tell us about it. Like, what happens in it?
Well, we're all beginning to understand now that everything is made of vibration. So what seems to be physical matter actually is just energy that is vibrating so slowly that we see it as matter. But beyond that, all of our cells, our brainwave patterns, our blood, our tissue, our muscles, our nerves are all energy forms that are spinning slowly and creating vibration. So for me, the most obvious and effective way to tackle any imbalance in the brain or the body would be through sound and vibration, because that's what we are. So when our bodies are healthy, everything is singing in tune, and like your whole body is just this orchestra of harmony. And one of my favorite quotes is by Leonardo da Vinci, who says, your soul is composed of harmony. And it's true. Wow. So when we're feeling healthy, everything is completely harmonious. But when something starts to spin slightly out of alignment, and that can happen through a stressful tube journey, or you're tired, or there's stress in your life, it can just knock certain parts of your body out of alignment slightly. And over time, if that energy imbalance isn't treated, it can manifest itself as a physical illness. So by using sound in the way that I use it, through various platforms such as planet gongs, Native American flutes, chimes, bowls, bells, crystal bowls, and beyond, the harmonious tones from the instruments that I play, including my own voice, can help to very softly and subtly spin your cells back into perfect harmony again. So the best analogy that I have to explain how sound healing works would be, if you think about an orchestra, and you have one violinist, and the violinist has lost his sheet music. So he starts to play a bit out of tune with everybody else. So at first you don't really hear it because the rest of the orchestra is playing harmoniously. But over time, that violinist will start to throw off the entire violin section. They'll all start to play out of tune because of that one guy. And then sooner or later, the whole orchestra is sounding out of tune. Now, I like to think that's what happens when there is an imbalance in the body. So you get one small section of the body that is blocked, and it isn't resonating harmoniously anymore. So if you think about the way that Western medicine might tackle this out of tune violin player, they would probably either drug him so that he's so drugged up he can't play anymore and he passes out, or cut off his hands, which I guess would represent surgery. And those are the two main ways that Western medicine would target that out of tune violin player. But what if we could actually give him back his sheet music that will help him to start to resonate in tune with the rest of the orchestra again? And that's how I like to think that sound healing works, that we are, by playing harmonious tones to the body, we are reminding the body that disharmonious part that has spun out of frequency, that is causing the imbalance, we are reminding it through sound how it's supposed to feel and sound. And that part of the body will start, so that part of the body will start to resonate harmoniously again. And there you've got a beautiful orchestra.
That's amazing. I actually was at a singing lesson recently, and it was different to one I've ever experienced before. And it was like, she went, before we start, we must tune your body. And like, I was moving it in all different ways. Wow. Kind of like what you were saying, tuning. And it's Dr. Wayne Dyer that says, universe, one song.
The one song.
Like we are one song. Uni meaning one, verse meaning song.
Perfect. And
we are one song.
That, me and you together, we always have been, Lynette, even in those clubs in Newcastle, 2005. Me and you, babe, against the world, wasn't it?
We were vibrating at a different rate than everyone else. It's just incredible. So, see, with sound healing, can you do it on your own, or do you have to come and see somebody like yourself?
Well, as somebody who provides it in a group scenario, that is amazing to have it in that, if you can get access to that. But a lot of people don't, and I don't think I would be able to get through the day if I didn't do my own little sound healing practice on my own at home with no instruments. So actually, as amazing as it is to go and put yourself in a group scenario, there's nothing more powerful than that, to sit and sing and chant and receive harmonious tones from gongs and drums and bowls together in a group. It's very tribe-like. It's how they do it in other cultures. It's about gathering together as one community, and so that's definitely an amazing thing to do if you can get access to it. But if not, sit at home and sing and tone and hum and chant, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you can start to completely resonate your whole body again.
Wow, that's incredible. That's so, and I think, you know, me and you are both doing women's circles, and the last one that I'd done, my singing teacher came along and we were doing Wahe Guru as 18 women all together singing, and it really did add something completely different to the circle. Tell me about your women's circles.
So our Sister Sound circles, I've been hosting them for nearly 4 years now, and it's been an amazing progression and development, and I must say it's probably my favorite project that I have out of all of them, because there is something so magical about sitting in a tribe of women and chanting and singing together and sharing, and we share and sing and cry and laugh and drum and meditate and elevate our consciousness together as one tribe. And it reminds me of when I was traveling, because I did a lot of that in different parts of the world where they do this every day. I mean, it's just a way of life. So that's why it's so important that we are bringing these circles and these concepts into the West. And we have a big sort of theme with our groups, that we are a group of women that support each other and complete each other instead of competing with each other, because there's this whole energy with women that, you know, it's all about, you know, being the best and having to stand out against other women. And actually it's important that these circles exist so we can just all raise each other up together.
Come together. And I think, you know, it really comes from times before us, possibly, that there was that competition, you know, maybe our grandmothers and our mothers. And I think it is that time now just to rise up and really see each other and feel each other and help each other. It's amazing.
Yeah, and we have an innate knowing and desire within us to cooperate, not to compete. It is our nature as humans to cooperate. So things like Sister Sound circles and other events that I do where we all come together and sing in harmony and receive sound in the way that we play it, it's just a beautiful way for people to gather and let go of the stresses of the world and just remember who we are, and that sound is what we're made of. Person, the word person, being of sound, that is what it translates from in Latin. Being of sound, person. So it's what we're made up of. And if we could hear the sound that our body's made from the oscillating brainwave patterns to the way that our blood flows and the energy pulsing through our system, everything has a frequency and a tone. So to me, the most obvious way, like I say, to rebalance that is through sound. And it is an honor for me to actually be able to do this every day and to help people, but most of all to help myself, because I get more out of it than anyone in the room every time.
So as well as like all your instruments, you've started to sing.
I've started to sing.
Yeah, like when I was friends with you, well, I'm still friends with you now, but when back in the day, I can't remember you singing.
I didn't sing back in the day. None of us did. I mean. We paid people to entertain us, because that's how we've been grown up. We've been brought up to believe that's what you do in the West. If you don't sing, you just pay people to sing in front of you, and that's kind of what we've always done. But the traveling that I did really helped me wake up to the belief and the idea and the knowing that we should all be singing every single day. It's what we need to do to survive. And it's not about sounding good, it's about feeling good. So even now, even being on a platform, and I make music in studio and sing on a platform, I'm still scared of it. And I still like, oh my God, I haven't got a good voice. There's always going to be that little inner critic there telling you that you can't sing because you were the one that were told you couldn't sing in the choir. That was me. That was probably you as well. So it's about just tuning out from the doubt and the insecurities about how you sound, and just letting it go, because your voice is God's gift to you, and what you do with your voice is your gift back to God. So sing every day, everyone, because it will change your life.
Do you think the more that you've worked on yourself, like inwardly, do you think that, you know, the throat chakra has opened more and there's a different sound coming out?
Definitely, because you know, when I first started working in the spiritual field, I was really conscious about my voice. Like I felt like I sounded really northern and really uneducated, and compared to the other women in the spiritual world who were all really well spoken, I had a real problem with the way I sounded. So to speak was bad enough, but to sing in this accent, there's nothing healing or therapeutic about my classic Warrington voice. But over the years, the more inner journeying that I did, and I drank a lot of plant medicine, and that really helped open up my voice as well. I became just really comfortable and confident with who I am, and just accepting who you are is enough. That's all you need to do, because once you do that, it doesn't matter what people think. Now I will sing in front of people, and I don't even bother to change my accent when I'm being interviewed. You know, I look back at interviews from previous years now on YouTube. Don't go on YouTube and watch them. And
is it you and your posh voice?
Me trying to be someone I'm not, because I was also quite young, being interviewed by older people in the field, and I was just feeling quite underconfident that I didn't sound clever. Whereas now I just own it, and I'm really happy about how I sound and who I am. So that's my advice: just accept who you are, and then you'll shine.
Yeah, you sound amazing. It's funny because I remember years ago I would hear my voice on things and be like, oh, I hate my voice. And that has really changed. I even think I sound slightly different to what I did before, especially when I'm leading circle. Sometimes a voice comes through me and I'm like, that doesn't even sound like me.
Oh, channeling.
I'm channeling something. So thanks for sharing that. I think there's real truth in, you know, doing that inner work and really finding your true voice.
Yeah, and you know, your voice is, after, you know, because I'm actually very obsessed with the physiological benefits of sound, more so than the spiritual aspect. So I've done days on end in the British Library reading studies on how sound heals and why, and how it affects the body in a physiological way. So for me, the spiritual aspect is a byproduct of all the amazing things that are happening physiologically, and seeing what the human voice can do for your body. No instrument or healing tool or medicine in the world can heal your body more than your own voice. It's it's been designed within us as this code and this free energy medicine that is available to us to self-heal. So that's why I'm very passionate about spreading the importance and the wealth of wisdom that there is in the world of sound with people, because it's about time that we start to reclaim our power in the world, not over the world, but in the world, as divine, sovereign healers, self-healers. We don't need to turn to other people to get healing. We actually just need to do that self-inquiry and sing. It's all you got to do. Sing yourself to pure health.
That is incredible. Thanks for sharing so much knowledge. And I think it's so true though, you know, inside us we have the power to heal ourselves and others.
Yeah, and also
it's incredible
that there's a lot in the sort of spiritual community about people becoming healers, and the word, I guess, in my sphere for what I do would be sound healer, but I don't really identify with that as a title, because I think it's important that when people come to visit you for an experience, they're not just handing over their power to you as a healer, the same way that we've handed over power to doctors in the past. I like to empower people when they come to see me for a sound healing experience, or a sound journey, or a sound activation, or a sister sound circle, whatever various tags I put on my event names, that they are there to, I am providing a safe, supportive environment for them to do their own healing work on themselves. I'm just there having a lovely time, playing some instruments, enjoying myself, and they're the ones that are actually doing the work. So I think that's important as well, to not so much identify as a healer for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, you know, that's true. You know, when you're in circle, it's not about like, if somebody starts to cry, being like, oh, just letting them do that thing, like letting them cry, letting them be emotional. And eventually they come out with their own answers. It just like purges out them. And you're like, that's it. You had it. You knew it all along.
Yeah. And again, there's a whole thing in the whole spiritual community about love and light, man, love and light. And me and my sound partner and greatest guru and magical mentor, Tim Wheater, who's my main man, we always joke about that in the spiritual world, about like life being love and light, and then there's no room for the darker emotions, so people seem to suppress them a lot, and I've seen that happen a lot.
The dark ones is where all the answers, it's where all the juice is. It's where my purpose has come from. Like, my darkness was my greatest gift, so I really truly believe we must go to that place.
Yeah, and I think that that's what I love about the gong, is that it's actually quite an eerie, dark, thrilling experience, so much so that it's actually not very comfortable for a lot of people. I've seen some crazy things happen in our sound activation events where people have screamed, they've come out in rashes, they get angry, and it's a confronting sound. And Yogi Bhajan says the gong is truth, and anything that is not truth cannot exist around it. And it's almost like, what he means by that, to put it into like physiological terms, is that the gong, with its full spectrum of sound that it can create, it puts that one fundamental tone and a whole universe of overtones over the top of it. So it's like it's covering the full spectrum of sound that's available. So it's forcing things out of your system that shouldn't be there, and that is not a comfortable experience, because we like our little beliefs. There are beliefs, and we like them, and it makes us who we are. But so when you come to an experience with the gong, if it's played well, it will actually force those things that are holding you back out of your system, and that can be quite a terrifying experience as you're letting go of them. It's detoxifying you at a cellular level, and so with that can come like fear and anger and resentment. So it's just about breathing through it and letting go, and trusting that trust in the power of sound, that it can help to rebalance you at your very core.
It's funny because when you brought the gongs into my healing with yourself, it took me back to a time in DC-10
Wow.
in Ibiza. I don't know if you remember that. When I came out, I was like, I was in DC-10 and there was all this music, like really, and then the plane was coming over. I had this real like visualization and experience that I clearly had been in before. And maybe something had to shift
well,
from that experience.
Do you know, I would not be where I am now if it wasn't for all those amazing experiences we had in clubs all over the world together as a group, and our amazing friendship group. And I'm seeing some popular names now that are popping up, that are watching, some of our favorite friends, and there's no way I would have arrived at this level of happiness and pure peace in my life without having gone through what we went through. And all those parties that we did and experiences that we had gave us that richness and quality of life and understanding about music and vibration, and the expansiveness of consciousness. That is where it all came from.
It was.
So yeah, I look back at my 20s, that entire decade, and I know that's where it all came from. And if you think about the tribal culture of standing together on a dance floor, listening to that heady trance-like beat and allowing it to take you, it's trance-like, and music has this ability to magnetize society into conformity with each other. So we were literally the one song again. We were all together as one tribe.
Music is
yeah, exactly. So that's a huge part of my journey to getting where I am now.
Yeah, and you're doing so much, not just the sound healing. You've also got another brand. Tell us about it.
Oh, Cherabella.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a new concept that actually occurred at the beginning of the year. I decided, after having been performing and teaching in this field for nearly 7 years, me and Tim, my buddy, we teach about 44 new sound healers a year now. So for years, when people have asked me where to get high quality instruments from, I just direct them to the places that I know of. And it's, 15, 20 different contacts who all sell individual things of the highest quality. So at the beginning of the year, I decided to create my own brand so that I could provide high quality instruments to my network. And so at the moment, I'm working on sourcing high quality crystal bowls, tuning forks, Native American flutes, and Native American drums. So, and that will constantly keep evolving, but it's a really nice passion project of mine, because I'm selling a lot of crystal bowls at the moment, and it's so nice when people come to choose them and seeing the journey they go on, and then seeing on Instagram all the people that are off using the bowls. So I'm really getting to see how this field is expanding beyond anything I could ever have imagined, because when I first started this in 2012, it was no way near as popular or as momentumous. Is that a word? Momentumous. Yeah. It's not a word, is it? But it didn't have as much momentum as it does now,
as it does now.
It's really cool now and popular, and it's all over.
Yeah, it's more accepted now. People are like, oh yeah, they're getting into it. It's just that ripple effect though, Cherub? It's like it started, and eventually just people then are more likely to go if they've heard somebody else go and it's a recommendation. And a lot of people are struggling out there. So if you tell someone, listen, this really healed me in many ways, they'll be like, oh, I'll try anything.
Yeah.
So I think people are being more open to things.
I think people have to be now, because life's hard, especially in London, and people are stressed and it's busy, and the pace of life is sped up. So it's really nice, the fact that we do train 44 sound healers a year to the highest standards, teaching them about the specific frequencies that we work with and the importance of how those frequencies affect the body. And so there's a lot of science behind what we teach. And then to know that I'm personally providing them with high quality instruments that are out there and being used, and people take them into all different spheres, like they're in hospitals, nursing homes, prisons, rehab centers, primary schools. So there's mother and baby groups. There's so many different avenues you can go down with this field. And so I get to see on Instagram all the different places that my Cherabella crystal bowls are going to, and the tuning forks. And it's a beautiful thing. It makes me feel like I get even more satisfaction and more reward to know that this is now bigger than me, and it's not just about my dream and my intentions, but it's a movement.
That's amazing. And when's your next training, like for 2019?
We're doing 3. We do 3 a year now. So the next one is in Liverpool, actually, February the 7th till the 9th, and then we'll be doing 2 in London in June and in November. So if you go on my website, cherabella.co.uk, you'll be able to have access to all the amazing crystal bowls and instruments that I have, and the list of all the events that we'll be doing for the rest of the year, next year.
Amazing. Once I post this afterwards, we'll put that link on there so that people can find you, and maybe if they want to have a session with you, they can get in touch.
Amazing.
Yeah. So what would you say up until this point has been your greatest achievement?
Oh, do you know, I was thinking about this, and beyond the obvious of just like waking up and being able to do what I love every day being the greatest achievement you'd ever need, I would say that the best thing that I feel like I've achieved so far would be an amazing collaboration I did with my man Tim Wheater and Martin Ware, who's an amazing music producer who was in the band Human League and Heaven 17. Who did Don't You Want Me, Baby? He's such a legend, really humble guy. He's from Sheffield. And we last year created a soundscape with him where me and Tim played our live healing high frequency fusion of bowls, flutes, drums, gong and voice. And he then synthesized it with his sort of like 80s synthy thrilling kind of sounds to create this 40-minute soundscape. And we then performed the premiere of that soundscape in Hamburg at the Elbphilharmonie Orchestra Hall in front of 2,000 people in June just gone, alongside Will from Goldfrapp and Adrian from Portishead, and a 15-piece, it was amazing, a 15-piece Moog orchestra. So it was me, Tim, with our live instruments, and it was the event was about the bridge between humanity and technology. Humans, robots, and the bridge, and knowing that that's kind of where we're going. So me and Tim represented humanity with our live instruments, and then the 15-piece Moog orchestra. Moog is like an old sort of synth style instrument, like an electronic instrument, 15 Moogs, and they represented technology. So how it would work was like me and Tim would do a piece on a flute, and somebody would then emulate that live sound with an electronic synthesized version of the flute, but like a bit more warped. And it was the probably my greatest achievement to date, a life highlight, to be able to perform on stage with some of the most incredible musicians. You know, Goldfrapp and Portishead, I've seen them several times in festivals and looked up to them, and never thought in a million years I'd be on stage alongside them. It was like a dream come true, and we are actually going to be performing it again in April next year in London with B Traits, who's an amazing DJ, previously on Radio 1. So it's what's exciting about the journey that I'm on is that it's spreading. It's not just in the spiritual community anymore. There's a scope for this to really travel to the masses and to help and heal more people.
And it's so inspiring. It's just anything is possible. You know, you think you were looking at these people on stage at festivals, and then there's you on stage with them now, like leading the thing.
Yeah, front row. And we got it. I've never had a buzz like it. And I am in no means, I wasn't ready for that. You know, I don't have a lead vocal style. That's not me. You know, I'm not the lead singer in a band, but, you know, I'm a very serendipitous person. And where I lack in skill, I feel I make up for in enthusiasm, and I am supremely dedicated to this field more than anything in my life. So even though the skill didn't necessarily match the people that I was on the stage with, I made up for it in pure fizz bomb fire pixie presence, like pow, I am here in my yellow sequin dress and pink hair, and I am ready to hold the stage. And I did, and And I was so proud of myself. And it was weird. I didn't even have nerves before I walked on. I was just like in pure flow state, you know, really just in the zone, calm mind, pure presence. And it was the happiest thing, the most exciting thing I've ever done.
That's incredible. I also seen you were just in Hong Kong.
Yeah. China and Hong Kong. Yeah,
we went there. Another synchronicity or thing that you just manifested.
Yeah, I seem to be able to attract things into my life, and you know the key is.
Well, no wonder you're like vibrating at this.
Surrounded by really high frequency sound. I live curled up inside a gong, so that helps. But literally 2 weeks prior, I'd said to my main man Tim, "It's time for us to crack China." 2 weeks after, we got booked randomly to go and perform at this Silicon Valley tech conference with all of like your top heads in the tech world. And we then did sound activations for them, digital detox we called it, away from their phones and their laptops, and you know the heavy talks on Bitcoin and crypto and robots and AI in the future. And then they'd come on their breaks and receive these lovely healing high frequency sound activations from us. So that was it was a wonderful experience to be in China, amazing place, and you know a superpower. They are interesting place to go to and to be part of that culture. And you know, on that subject, I think it's important to mention that as I feel that I am attracting things into my life that sometimes I don't even have time to manifest it now, like things come into my life that are that good. I think if I would have had time, I would have manifested that. But it's just everything's in pure flow. And what I've learned from working very closely with vibration is that if there is something in your life that you seek but you don't have it yet, perhaps it is because your internal vibration doesn't match that which you seek. So whether it is a soulmate, the perfect career, abundance, just peace, if you don't have it in your life, you need to focus on what that vibration might feel like if you had it. So if you internally every single day but live like you have it, then naturally your own internal vibrational state will rise. And just through simple quantum physics and law of attraction, without getting too sort of trippy hippie on us, the universe just will simply know no better than to bring those experiences that match the vibration of which you seek. So actually there is truth to the secret thoughts become things thing. Just feel it and you'll get it.
Oh my God, I'm feeling honestly the energy of you is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your presence tonight. And I want to ask you, like, what do you want your legacy to be when you leave this planet?
Oh, do you know, I think that if I could have an imprint on, specifically on the world of sound healing that I'm in, it would be to transition it away from it being in this dusty old spiritual section of the world. Sound healing, you have to go to spiritual festivals, or you have to go to a spiritual event where everyone's wearing white and there's candles and you've got to talk about the moon and the waxing and waning moon to actually experience sound. I want to lead the way on transitioning sound away from, not away from, but more into, as an art form, into the field of art, popular culture, music, the commercial spheres, maybe even Radio 1. Who knows? I've got some big dreams, and I'd like to think that me and the people that are around me are capable of moving sound as an art form into the public sphere, so more people can get access to it. So it's not just a spiritual experience, it is so more than that. It's not a luxury or a spiritual thing that you find out when you've drank plant medicine and there's only a small niche of people that know about it. The whole world needs to be singing this song, because it's
one song, universe,
one song.
And I think, you know, imagine like schools and nurseries having sound bowls, because I've got a little sound bowl, and anytime I take it and a child is about, they're like, can I play it? And I'm like, have a shot. And they're really like intrigued. And it was actually Elias that asked Santa for it last year, and I just stole it off him and I kind of use it. So I think if you could get into the schools and into every work environment, really.
Yeah, and you know, the sad thing is they're cutting budget for music in schools. It's becoming a thing that they're not focusing on, and that breaks my heart. And I've got another project called Play Around Sound, which is helping children express themselves through music, poetry and play. And I've started setting up these groups at Pirate Castle Camden, where I invite children. We give them musical education, basically. So we have a whole day on djembe drumming, and then another day I'll be on playing the flute and singing. And it's just about helping children to reignite that passion for music and sound because it's been stripped away from their education. And from a corporate perspective, yeah, we do go into offices, and we've had some really profound results from them, because what I like about that group of people is that then they won't be you can't just make shit up. You've got to really know what you're talking about if you go in there. They won't put up with the airy fairy spiritual chat that you might be able to get away with about how sound heals. You have to really understand the physiological benefits of sound, which I can explain. So it's really nice to be put in front of a group of people that are cynical and are quite close to the experience, and seeing how the sound can speak for itself and transform them. And they come back and say it was the best night's sleep they've ever had. They feel like they've been reborn. So that I don't feel like there is any group or any type of person in the world that would not benefit from sound. I think it's we all need to be experiencing it every day.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you go into these places. I went into the High Court a couple of weeks ago and took them into their heart space. And actually they were honestly really open. Like, there was emotions and they were really open to it. So I think people are open if you've got, like you say, like if you've got the information and you can tell them and you can allow them to feel it. They can't argue with it, can they? Because they're like, I'm physically feeling it.
You can physically feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about what I do, is that it speaks for itself. As soon as you receive sound, the healing harmonics and the wave patterns and formulas that come from out the back of a gong or a crystal bowl, it speaks to you, and it's so powerful. And what's actually happening is it's helping you drop down a couple of brainwave states into theta. And when you're in theta, which is the same for meditation, all of your brain and body is flooded with all those happy chemicals that you need to survive. Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin that you get from cuddles, all of those amazing chemicals you get from being in theta. So sound is that's why it's called the lazy man's meditation, because it helps to just drop you down into that relaxing brainwave state.
Yes, I love it. Yes, honestly, you are such an inspiration. So next year, what are you up to? How can we find you, or where will you be? Are you coming to Edinburgh?
There's a lovely quote that I love by William Blake's wife, and someone said to her, what is it like being married to Mr. Blake? And she said, "Oh, I hardly see Mr. Blake. He's usually in paradise." And I love that, because it reminds me of me. So to answer the question, where will I be? That's where I'll be, in paradise, doing what I love every day. But on a practical level, I'll be doing lots of incredible projects next year. My most exciting thing that I've got happening is I'm going to be taking a very special group of women to Egypt to do a voice activation and sonic sisterhood powwow trip down the River Nile, floating on a 5-star luxury boat, stopping off all the main temples, and then flying to Cairo to get private time in the Great Pyramid. So that's going to be one of my most exciting projects, is to float down the River Nile and sing and chant and play the gong with a group of women.
That is very exciting. I think also, like, share your link for that, because I'm sure there's a lot of women on here who'd be interested.
I will. It'll be a trip of a lifetime. I'm so excited for it.
And when's that happening?
It's the 5th till the 15th of April. I'm collaborating with a wonderful woman called Megan Morningstar, and it's going to be beautiful desert campfire sister sound circles, and it's just going to be pure magic and helping women rediscover their voice. Because again, the most exciting thing about what I do is that I'm not teaching anybody anything, actually. I'm just reminding us what we already know. We've all had lifetimes of using sound as a tool for transformation. So sharing this is just helping people to remember who we are.
Exactly. Amazing. So the Egypt trip, and anything else that you want to tell us about?
Just watch this space, because I've got some very exciting projects happening that aren't being released yet. Some collaborations with art galleries and with some DJs and producers, and we're going to be making a lot more music for radio, and hoping to bring more healing frequencies into the masses. So there's nothing that I can really announce yet, but please do check up my website regularly, because by the end of this month, I'll have put up all the events for the rest of the year. And we do a lot of traveling, so we're all over the place. And yeah, I did hear you say about Edinburgh, and I'm up for that. So yeah,
please come.
Bring me up.
Please come. You can stay with me. Bring your gong.
Sold.
Oh, it's been a pleasure having you on here, and maybe next year we can do another similar interview and just see where you're at again. Because I'm sure my audience will just really love this interview, and you've shared so much wisdom, so much truth, and so much energy.
Maybe it's you bringing it out in me. And I just want to share one more thing before I go. And it's just, I want to give everybody who is listening a practical step for how you can actually just go away and use sound.
Yes.
So if you don't have a gong or a bowl or a fork or a drum, which can sometimes be difficult to get your hands on, use the one instrument that was given to you by God that is completely free and is there. Wake up tomorrow morning, and in the first 20 minutes of your day, when your brain is operating on 10.5 wave cycles per second, which is the moment when your brain is its most susceptible to influence, just get up out of bed, one hand on the heart, one hand on the womb, and just go, and I'm just humming there. Simple, easy, not that embarrassing. No one can hear you. And that is a vibroacoustic tool that can actually help to detoxify your cells. It actually helps to balance out both hemispheres of the brain and directly affects the electrical signal of your heart. Just humming. Who knew? Wow. How amazing is that? So humming, you can maybe even take it to an R or an E or a U, but just experiment with making sound, simple sounds first thing in the morning, and just see how that affects the rest of your day. And do it regularly, and you'll see over time it will help to carve out new neural pathways in your brain that help you to become more optimistic and calmer and feel more balanced in the body.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
And I think, I think humming to your heart, singing to your heart space.
Yeah, make that connection.
Yeah, make that connection. It's all about the heart. Yeah. Oh, I love you so much. And I'm so buzzing that you came on tonight. I will share this. Please share it with your audience as well, because I think everyone needs to feel this interview.
Thank you. I will, definitely. And I love you too, Lynette. From the moment that I met you in 2005 in that crazy club to that moment in DC 10 when you saved me from a very challenging situation. You might not remember, but you took me in under your wing and looked after me when I was needing help. To this
Maybe
moment
that's
now.
Maybe that was the gong. It was taking me back to that moment.
Yeah, it was, and what I love about you is that I thought you were cool then, and then we've had 10 years, and I think you're even cooler now. And I love that I can inspire you, and I love that you inspire me right back. So thank you for inviting me on.
Sisters.
And I'd love to collaborate with you in the future, so let's make it happen.
Yes, I'm coming to the Pirate Castle. I really want to come and do something there.
Amazing, please do, and I'll come up and collaborate with you.
Right, brilliant.
Excellent.
It's on.
Yay!
Right, thank you. Thanks to everyone for tuning in as well and listening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.